Today begins with anxiety does not empty tomorrow of its sorrows, but only empties today of its strength. Some people feel guilty about their anxieties and regard them as a defect of faith, but they are afflictions, not sins. Like all afflictions, they are, if we can so take them, our share in the passion of Christ. We need to start identifying the triggers that aggravate mental health issues in our society: bullying, social media negativity and anxiety, gender-based violence, substance abuse, stigma around issues such as maternal issues, etc. We need to speak about these more and get to the source of the problems. Nothing in the affairs of men is worthy of great anxiety. Religion is meant to teach us true spiritual human character. It is meant for self-transformation. It is meant to transform anxiety into peace, arrogance into humility, envy into compassion, to awaken the pure soul in man and his love for the source, which is God. I was way more comfortable in front of strangers than I was in front of relatives. So when they would laugh at my dysfunctions or my anxiety, I felt less alone, and I still do it for the same reason. Every tomorrow has two handles. We can take hold of it with the handle of anxiety or the handle of faith. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. Good humor is a tonic for mind and body. It is the best antidote for anxiety and depression. It is a business asset. It attracts and keeps friends. It lightens human burdens. It is the direct route to serenity and contentment. There are moments when all anxiety and stated toil are becalmed in the infinite leisure and repose of nature. If I take death into my life, acknowledge it, and face it squarely, I will free myself from the anxiety of death and the pettiness of life, and only then will I be free to become myself. A crust eaten in peace is better than a banquet partaken in anxiety. For as long as I can remember, I have suffered from a deep feeling of anxiety, which I have tried to express in my art. The truth is that there is no actual stress or anxiety in the world. It's your thoughts that create these false beliefs. You can't package stress, touch it, or see it. There are only people engaged in stressful thinking. Man, so long as he remains free, has no more constant and agonizing anxiety than to find as quickly as possible someone to worship. Anxiety is the handmaiden of creativity. Neither comprehension nor learning can take place in an atmosphere of anxiety. We all have anxiety about things. We all have little insecurities. But eventually you have to face your fears if you want to be successful. And everybody has some fear of failure. All of the great leaders have had one characteristic in common. It was the willingness to confront unequivocally the major anxiety of their people in their time. This, and not much else, is the essence of leadership. I know that the Lord is always on the side of right, but it is my constant anxiety and prayer that I and this nation may be on the Lord's side. A higher rate of urgency does not imply ever-present panic, anxiety, or fear. It means a state in which complacency is virtually absent. The void, the concept of nothingness, is terrifying to most people on the planet, and I get anxiety attacks myself. I know the fear of that void. You have to learn to die before you die. You give up, surrender to the void, to nothingness. My anxiety stems from my lack of control, no matter what. I become a very different person when I'm writing music. I have zero anxiety when I'm doing it. What shall I say further? Shall I not stop short and leave to your imaginations to portray the tragic deeds of war? Is it not enough that I hear? Leave it even to unexperienced to fancy the hardships, the anxieties, the dangers, even of the best life of a soldier. Concentration is a fine antidote to anxiety. Our age of anxiety is, in great part, the result of trying to do today's job with yesterday's tools and yesterday's concepts. The act of birth is the first experience of anxiety, and thus the source and prototype of the effect of anxiety. During the year 1894, Pierre Curie wrote me letters that seemed to me admirable in their form. No one of them was very long, for he had the habit of concise expression, but all were written in a spirit of sincerity and with an evident anxiety to make the one he desired as a companion know him as he was. A leader who is confused or confusing causes too much anxiety, and a leader who is too controlling is revealing more insecurity and a lack of leadership. The courage to be is rooted in the God who appears when God has disappeared in the anxiety of doubt. Comedy is defiant. It's a snort of contempt in the face of fear and anxiety, and it's the laughter that allows hope to creep back on the inhale. It is very hard to explain to people who have never known serious depression or anxiety the sheer continuous intensity of it. There is no off switch. Physical comforts cannot subdue mental suffering, and if we look closely, we can see that those who have many possessions are not necessarily happy. In fact, being wealthy often brings even more anxiety.
Please like, subscribe, and start every day with a new word. Thank you.